Welcome back to Jak and Daxter. We are still on the Misty Island, and we got the Muse, so now we're going to be doing some actual exploring of the island.
Yeah,
So
thank God
the
that's
little
over.
the little clocky thing in the bottom right corner that it sort of goes down for the blue thing that you've got, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Just trying to make sure I understand like the interface and stuff.
Yeah. Keep in mind, a lot of this stuff changes completely in Jak 2, though, because
Yeah.
Jak 2 is a much more shooter-based platformer, very Ratchet and Clank.
Okay.
Which is something I want to mention, though. Actually, the developers of Jak and Daxter and the developers of Ratchet and Clank are really friendly with each other. Like, there are Ratchet and Clank references in Jak 2. Like, there's a shooting gallery that uses Ratchet and Clank-themed targets.
Well, Insomniac and Naughty Dog have traditionally had a strong relationship way back to Spyro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Spyro and Crash, I should say. So that's doesn't come as too much of a surprise to me.
No, it's really
Yeah.
not.
But you know, there is some pretty obvious Ratchet and Clank influence in the way Jak 2 operates because you get all these weird guns and stuff, and it's the same general kind of platformer except with the Jak and Daxter touch, you know. But-
Which series ended up being the more successful one? Well, I guess I mean it's safe. I'm thinking it's safe to assume Ratchet and Clank because they're the ones getting the movie. But I don't. You guys know more about this sort of strain
Honestly,
of gaming than I do.
I don't know the sales numbers, but it's kind of hard to gauge which is more successful because Ratchet and Clank was that game that sort of released a new title every year and a half or so, and Jak and Daxter was more, you know, paces its releases, didn't really do anything new until there was something new to do.
I would use the fact that it's still going on. I wouldn't say as strong as it used to be, but the fact that it is getting a movie and it's getting a remastering or retelling of the first game this year goes to show what franchise I think people were gravitating towards the most. Because I hear more Ratchet and Clank stories than I do Jak and Daxter, even though people do love the Jak and Daxter series.
Yeah. It's like, I don't really see the two as rival series, though. It's more like they're games you play when you would just enjoy
Well, no.
it. You know, it's one of the rare cases where I don't see... No, pausing won't save you, Ryan.
I was trying to skip the cutscene.
It's a cutscene.
It's one of the rare cases where I don't see fan bases bickering over which is better as much. Possibly because both series seem to like each other, like, even within the games themselves.
Yeah, you can't like if the like it'd be like if it's like, you know, if instead of Donkey Kong Country 2 you got like Sonic shoes in the trash can, like it was Diddy Kong and Sonic like having a beer or something. Like, you know, you can't hate, Nintendo fans can't hate on Sonic now because they're friends, you know. You'd be doing what Mario wouldn't want if you were a dick to Sonic.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But when it comes to the Ratchet and Clank and Jak and Daxter fan bases, I haven't heard horror stories of the fan base dickery as much, you know? At least not in reference to each other.
Every fan
Well,
base is awful. That's my personal theory.
But
Yeah.
did it ever really get as vulgar or as like explosive as Sonic versus Mario? I think that's the only rivalry that was ever to that degree.
Well,
well-
Battlefield and Call of Duty, like people like get really kind of heated over
Yeah.
that.
By the way, we just passed the Dark Eco Vat where Daxter transformed.
Yeah, you can hear a Daxter comment on that when you
Yeah.
enter this arena.
So wait,
Yeah.
so how did we get to this part of the level in the first cutscene without the precursor power cells? Huh? Yeah, work out that plot hole, huh?
What?
Yeah.
No, the Misty Land or the Misty Island. Is this optional, or do you have to go here?
Every level is technically optional. You just have to get enough power cells to get to the next area.
Yeah, because the area that they mentioned that you need to go to next is a fire base area, but you need 20 power cells so that the girl can install a heat shield to your vehicle in order to get past the lava bed safely.
Ryan, I saw what you were doing. I saw what you were trying to do, but no, bad idea. That is a speeder section. You literally can't find anything to stand on over there.
Doesn't hurt to try, though.
Sure it does.
One
He
thing-
dies. That's painful.
One thing about dying in this game, though, is that everything that you did before you died you will still be done when you come back at the checkpoint.
Yep.
Collectibles you pick up, power cells you get, everything.
Stares
It-
at
it-
Banjo 1. Sorry, I'm never gonna let that go.
Yeah.
Good thing you're recording it for the channel.
Can't I just skip to 2E, please?
No.
I like that game way better.
Sooner you get done with Banjo-Kazooie 1, the sooner you can get to Tooie.
Can't we
Got
get
a
somebody else to do...
Look, you're already doing your best to ignore Emerald. Now, do not ignore Kazooie.
No, why did you bring it up?
To put pressure on you, Ted. To put pressure on you. I got
Oh,
to
I
work.
beat catch mode in Tetris DS. I've never done that before.
Nice to know you're paying attention.
Oh,
I-
I know, right?
To clarify what I was actually talking about earlier with regards to fan bases, though, I wasn't exactly talking about rivalries between companies. I was talking more about fan bases have this insipid desire to just prove that what they like is better than everything else sometimes, and I don't see much of that with Jak and Daxter and Ratchet and Clank. I don't see people getting all up in your face about which series is superior to the other. Like, even within a single fan base, you'll find the Final Fantasy VII is so much better than 6, or vice versa.
Well,
Crowds.
that's mostly just because I think that happens in Final Fantasies more often than because each game is its own thing. You know, the rare 10-2 or 13-4 or whatever the fuck they're at
Or it happens in the Sonic fan base because the Sonic fan base is just babies.
now. No, the Sonic fan base is like no, they're man babies. That's even worse. It's a
Yeah,
baby.
these babies have
it's a baby with
these babies have beards.
No,
Yeah,
not
it's like-
not beards, neck beards, and they also and expendable income. Okay, now
Yeah.
I have a question to get back on topic for just a quick moment. The green things restore your hearts. How many do you need to collect in order to get your health back?
50.
50. Okay.
50 small ones, and I think the big ones just count as an instant 50 or something.
All right.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a good thing to bring up. You can technically have 4 whole hits at any given time, because when you reach 50 with a full health bar, your green eco count just stays at 50 until you take a hit, at which point the 50 eco count that you've collected instantly restores one of your health points.
Huh. Okay, that's good to know. I was wondering why it capped it. Like, I know what they said. I know I remember them saying you need 50 in order to restore health, but it caps at 50. I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. But I guess I didn't really notice getting hit automatically spends the 50 orbs. That's a nice little detail, I'd imagine. 50
Yeah.
though is kind of a high number in my opinion. Like, I don't know.
Each enemy drops like 5. From
It varies. I think it caps at 5, honestly, from
Well-
what I've played.
In Jak and Daxter, you don't take as many hits as you do in the later games. Like, in the later games, you're getting hit left and right, so you obviously have a longer health bar in those games to compensate. But in this one, it's strictly melee combat. So when you take a hit, it's probably because you screwed up a platforming sequence or mistimed a melee attack.
You two didn't screw up.
Oh, shut up, Samos.
But the lurkers can't open that silo. They can't flood the world with dark eco and cause untold...
This is a somewhat roundabout way to get collectibles, by the way, but there's a bunch of precursor orb boxes down in that in that thing over there, down in that arena area we were fighting in earlier, and the only way to open them is with the cannonballs.
do you want to? For some reason, this reminds me of the egg carrier in Adventure 1. Where in order to get an emblem, you have to go into a cannon and shoot yourself at a box on the deck of that. Like, I don't know, it's just kind of strange, I guess.
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay, you said egg. Sorry, you said egg carrier. I was thinking Skydeck. And I was like, when do you do that in Skydeck?
Oh no, I mean like on the actual egg carrier, because Adventure 1 has emblems in the hub world for.
Yeah. You're right, and I remember. I just remember what you were talking about because I think I've only done that maybe 1 or 2 times when I'm not looking for Eggman's hidden bedroom.
Well, when you getting all the emblems in Adventure 1 just lets you play as Metal Sonic, right?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay, so like he's just a skin of normal Sonic, so it's not like it's anything special. Well, I mean,
A skin of
it's
normal
worth.
Sonic that you have to A rank everything again with. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I just remember this because because Ryan took a daring leap into the arena there. But fall damage exists in Jak and Daxter, but can be completely negated because you have a spin kick.
Oh,
which
is it like
breaks-
is it like the ground pound trick in Mario 64?
Yeah, it's exactly like that, except instead of pounding the ground, you just sort of hover.
You just flip gravity off with the biggest
wait.
middle finger you could possibly muster.
Actually, you know what? It's actually probably closer to the flapping from Banjo-Kazooie. Actually, where-
Why are you diving into the bottomless pit?
I'm not trying to dive. I'm trying to long jump.
Okay, so the blue stuff magnet makes you electric. I'm guessing the red stuff makes you fire. Then.
No, it boosts your power.
Actually, it's the orange eco that gives you fireballs, which are actually quite a bit more effectual than Mario's version of that power up, by the way. But the red just doubles your melee attack power, which is vaguely useless because only the really big enemies ever have multiple hits. So, I mean, they do.
Yeah,
pretty...
you know that guy that takes 2 hits to kill. Now he only takes 1. Oh God.
Yeah, but you know the 2-hit enemies are kind of annoying because you have to knock their helmets off before you can actually kill them.
So do you get power-ups that increase the amount of time you get to keep the eco? Is it this stuff's called?
As you can see, there are little ecos balls all over the place. Whenever you pick one of the same color that you already have, it extends your timer.
Okay.
You also start with a completely full timer if you get your power up from an actual vent.
Oh, instead of like picking up the little.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Vents, however, are quite rare and only in specific places, and every color vent that you find within the world has a vent that you need to activate in some other area before you can use the other vents in that hub world.
Oh, so you have to like find the first one before you can use all the extras. Then.
Yeah.
Oh, what are the
And most
bugs?
of the time it's not. And most of the time it's not just to strictly make your journey easier, but just to get a power cell. Is that a safe assumption?
Yeah.
I will say the game
like-
has a pretty good draw distance. Sorry. I noticed that, so I wanted to mention that.
Yeah, for a game of the era, actually, Jak and Daxter is really well done on a technical level. They spent quite a lot of time actually just programming Jak's control. His control and the way he animates in relation to it. There's a lot of... Every time you jump, you might notice, like, every action Jak does involves a really big emphasis on squash and stretch animation.
Yeah, absolutely. And his hair has resistance. Like
Yeah.
if he jumps up, his hair goes down. When he's swimming, his hair gets wet. And,
Yeah.
You know, for the time, it's pretty technical.
But the animation itself actually presents the illusion of the controls being more fun than they would have been otherwise.
I gotta say, I don't think those dark eco boxes are clearly labeled appropriately. You know, I see a box and it's colored yellow, so I think, okay, that's usually not a dangerous color by platforming standards. You know, I spin on it, I get hurt.
It has a radiation symbol on it, dude.
I didn't immediately see that as a biohazard sign. You know, strangely enough, I didn't immediately see it as a biohazard sign because most of the time, biohazard signs, if they're not a dangerous color such as red, they're usually created with like black and yellow colors so that you can easily distinguish it. But it's yellow, and its markings are something I've never seen before. You know, who knows? You know, this world is not exactly Earth. Could be some sort of
you
alien
want to know
language.
something funny, though? Okay, Daxter will tell you to stay away from the dark eco box.
Yeah, after
but
you
only
break it.
after you get hit by
Yeah,
one.
after you break it. I know. You're like, after I hit it, it's like, stay away from the dark eco boxes. Like, I didn't know it was a dark eco box, you prick.
He's just like, hey, dumbass, you walked into a nitro crate. What are you thinking?
Yeah, but that's clearly labeled, though.
Well, Crash doesn't know how to read,
Yeah, but I do.
but you are Crash.
No, oh, we're getting into some metaphysical shit here, are we?
I love this guy's logic for wanting 90 power cells, though. It's re-election campaign money. He's in a village with 3
He
people
is
in
the
it.
mayor from Sonic Boom. Okay, I thought that I was just like drawing connections. No, it's the same person. Oh god.
Except here, it's a little less dumb because you can tell the humor is intentional and not just a result of them not filling the town enough. I mean, there's 4 houses here, 4 people. Okay, fair enough. Why do we even have a mayor? I just look at this guy and I think, what did he just elect himself because he lives in the house with the power generator?
Oh, my muse! You saved her! Oh, you really are the best. Here, take this power cell.
You know, though, the way that speaking of Sonic Boom, I brought this up, but the way the quest dialogues work in this game really make me hate Sonic Boom.
Yeah, it's one thing where this 2001 game is technically more impressive than.
Yeah, the
You know, but
animation,
we
the
had-
animation is better. Much better.
Yeah, we had a whole commentary shitting on Sonic Boom. We're better than that.
No, we aren't.
Yeah,
No, we're not. You're right. You're right.
but I do want to point out what I like about these dialogue scenes, though. They're all individually animated with individual mannerisms, individual lip syncing, individual everything. Everything is very individual here. And Naughty Dog has been great with facial animations and cutscenes ever since the PS1 days. Like, I think the Crash 2 is the earliest example. Crash 3 was glorious in that respect.
Look, Naughty Dog was always really good with the production values.
Yeah.
So,
And
it's the reason why they are in the status they are today.
Yeah, Naughty Dog versus Sonic games has always been my go-to comparison when I want to point out how bad Sega was at this kind of stuff. It's like, why is Sonic Adventure so bad at facial animations? Crash Bandicoot was doing it right years
Okay,
ago.
well, I'm not gonna. I'm gonna play devil's advocate here a little bit. The animation probably isn't nearly as good as soon as you switch the language out of English. Granted, it's probably
No,
just
no,
as
no, no,
bad.
No, but that's just a matter of lip syncing, though. We're talking about full out body animation.
Sonic Adventure was terrible at cutscene animations, even in Japanese.
Well, okay, granted, but the having a more stock mouth movement animation does make things a little bit more translatable between languages, as opposed to having full voice acting that's matched only to English. So as soon as you switch the game to a different language, then it looks more odd.
Fair enough, but
Yeah,
Sonic
but again,
Adventure...
I'm
That's
not
only-
I'm not trying to say that like Adventure has better like cutscenes.
No. I know what you're getting at. It's just that you're arguing lip syncing,
Yeah.
and I don't think lip syncing and body animations they coincide with each other all the time. Because as we said time and time again in this part anyway, Sonic Adventure was animated terribly. Compare Adventure 1 or Adventure 2. It's like apples and oranges. But Adventure 1 had no reason to be that stiff when there were already plenty of games beforehand that were animated in a much better fashion.
Yeah, it's like, in that sense, it was below its own. It was below the standards that had been established. Also, why are you driving over the open lava? You are playing this so dangerously, Ryan. What
You're
are
a
you doing?
daredevil. Make him stop.
So I'm
Oh,
guessing.
God.
So this thing can't take temperatures up to 9,000 degrees then?
Yep.
I think it's more like 500 in the first area, and then when you go through the next fire canyon, you have to up the shield's power so that it can reach up to 700. And that's your logic for having to collect more power cells for the same damn thing.
Well, what's going on here, Ryan?
We're transporting ourselves to the next area.
Yeah, every hub world has a speeder section in between, and they really upped the significance of the zoomer in the later games. Probably a bit too much, but it's a really well controlling vehicle. I love this. I love the way that the zoomer controls, but it's kind of how do I put this? A little frustrating in the sense that it punishes you too hard for missing one thing.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so you do one of these after every level then.
Every
Not
hub
between
world.
not between 2 and 3 now.
This actually the second speeder bike section is just a speeder bike section through a grassy valley. The thing is, you have to beat a boss before you can get there. The second hub world's reason for collecting power cells, as we're going to find, is that the Blue Sage created an anti-gravity machine to move a flaming boulder out of the way of the next biking section, and you need to power it. Okay.
Oh, so they try to like make the power cells like power the thing so that you can. It's not just like, oh, you have stars, so you can go to the next level because reasons. It like
Yeah, they try to give you a good plot reason for why you need to collect these things. It's just really transparent.
like it doesn't really like I don't mind just like collecting the things to open the level. Like that's just platformer logic. Like I can deal with that.
But
Yeah,
giving him, I don't mind giving them a justifiable reason though. It doesn't hurt.
Like it doesn't, but it's just it does. Does it get forced? That's just what I'm gonna ask.
Not really, but it's more jarring in retrospect because Jak 2 and Jak 3 did plot progression so well.